Hello there, welcome to a video guide I made for the Northern Frontier. The Northern Frontier, or TNF for short, is a very punishing game, very unforgiving and harsh for new players with a steep learning curve, but it is nonetheless very enjoyable and fun if you stick around and learn the game and its various mechanics. In this video I did my best to cover all things to the basics of movement and the simple game mechanics to advanced combat techniques and ways you can improve your skill. I have placed timestamps so you can orient yourself and skip to which section interests you best. Keep in mind that the tutorial I am presenting you with takes place in a game that is in development, so advice I give you or certain techniques/glitches I show you may become outdated. First thing you will see upon opening the game is the character selection screen. In this menu you can choose your starting class. For this tutorial you can follow along by selecting the colonist class, but you can also choose native if you want to. Controls and menu options. On your right side of the screen you can see 4 buttons. First of all, inventory. You can also press G instead of clicking the button. The inventory allows the user to equip items, equipment or clothing by dragging it to the left side menu as shown. Simply drag the item from your backpack to your equipment tab as shown. This only works with equipment or clothes. Quick management of the inventory is key to mastering combat in this game, as fast bandaging and switching to combat sets both require skilled use of the inventory. Tool use. If you have a torch, equip it by clicking its icon in your toolbar, or pressing the selective button on your keyboard. You will see a tooltip that says you can light it by pressing T. Same goes for weapons you have in hand or items you have equipped, such as lanterns. In the crafting tab, you will see whatever you can craft as a colonist. You can alternatively press C to access this menu. This option is more useful to natives as their combat style heavily depends on crafting tools, weapons and arrows. Clicking the faction button will show you a list of the current factions in game and how many players of those factions are in game currently. We will discuss more on how to join factions at a later time. The store provides the player with useful gear in exchange for Robux. Robust axe, snowshoes, engineer knapsack are the most useful items for players, as the snowshoes allow you to traverse snow with greater walk speed and the engineer knapsack allows you to carry much more than the normal knapsacks you can buy. Warmth. In the frontier, the weather gets really cold sometimes. It is advised to stay as warm as you can in your travels, because if not, a movement and stamina debuff will be applied as your character crosses their hands and shivers. As a player with little gear, it is best advised to warm yourself by fires. Carry a torch with you and light it for extra warmth when having to walk on snow. The fastest way to warm yourself up is to stand inside a building, or alternatively you can stand by a campfire. The hunger bar is important. When it hits 0, your character will start to slowly take damage until you die. Eat food by opening your inventory and right-clicking it. There is no sprinting, but you have a stamina bar that inhibits your ability to jump continuously or attack infinitely. Once your stamina runs out you cannot jump or attack/block with melee for a short amount of time, until you regain your stamina once again. Movement. For movement, the ground you tread on matters. Without snowshoes, your best course of action is to stick to the paths and rocky grounds, as these offer the best movement while walking. Treading on snow will cause both your walk speed and movement speed to decrease. This walk speed debuff by walking on snow is negated by wearing snowshoes. Freezing will cause your character to shiver and walk slower. Stay warm. Carrying too many items will also decrease your walking speed significantly. Be aware of your carrying capacity and the space items take up, and don't take more than you can manage. Safe zones. Inside the general store, the native camp, or the various travel points of Sylvester's fast travel, there are established safe zones where you are invulnerable to all types of damage from other players, outside which the player will be vulnerable to attacks and looting from other players. It is also wise to know that certain player classes can attack you in the James Bay safe zone, such as HBC natives, but this is subject to change in upcoming updates. Once you damage a player by any means, or another player damages you, a combat symbol will appear on the top right of your screen. This indicates that you are in a combat state. If you attempt to log out or leave the game during this state, the game will drop your weapons on the ground, and when you rejoin, your character will be dead. Avoid leaving the game while in combat. Once you die in game by any means, your dead body will drop a small portion of your pounds on the ground. This also applies to other people, so look out for small pound bags while walking around the frontier to make some money. Items such as clothing items, accessories, knapsacks, Robux items and other gear items like axes cannot be looted off of you once you die. Exception to this are pickaxes, fishing rods, hunting knives and torches. Any items such as weapons, ammunition, scuffed snowshoes and other resources can be looted from you. Sylvester's fast travel is the quickest way to get around the frontier instead of walking. It is also present in native camps, so make sure to take advantage of this. Sylvester also has his own shop, but avoid selling your wares to him if you can, as whatever you sell to him will have the price cut in half. You can physically pick up dropped objects by clicking on them. This is a useful mechanic if you and another person are fighting for a valuable object, or you simply want to move a heavy object from one place to another without over-encumbering yourself. Regularly in the frontier, snow blizzards will arrive. These are marked by a sudden snow flurry and reduced visibility for the player. An animation where the character places a hand in front of their face is also performed. In the northern frontier, there are a lot of ways you can make money, some better than others. In this tutorial we will cover 3 ways. For the beginning, you will start out with nothing, or 120 pounds if you got the daily bonus and didn't waste it. The easiest way to earn pounds is to walk around the frontier and collect pound bags after battles and sell items you find or loot from other players. If you have no money at all, you can chop down a tree by pressing equipping your axe and holding E on them. As such, then sell the logs at general store, or craft an engineering table and sell whatever you have crafted. Do this until you have enough money for a pickaxe, fishing rod or hunting bow and arrows. The first simple method is mining iron inside James Bay. There are stone, iron, and sulfur nodes you can mine. First step is to go to the general store and buy yourself a pickaxe from the shop. It is found in the tools section. Secondly, you must look around the frontier for a smelter. It looks like a big furnace with a chimney. This will be used to refine the ore as you mine. If you don't see any smelter around the area, then gather 5 logs and 15 stone, then craft one using the crafting menu. Alternatively, you can also buy a smelter from the general store. Once you crafted your smelter, place it down and start mining as much iron as you can. Lastly, you must smelt the raw iron ore into metal ingots and sell them at the store for 100 pounds. This is a good way to make money if you're starting out. If you have trouble because of overcrowding at the James Bay mine, the next method will serve you well. Simply go to the general store and buy a fishing rod. Then head to the water behind the general store or anywhere else and equip your fishing rod. You can cast out your line by holding click and then releasing it after 2 seconds. If you see a brown line and a red bobber in the water, that means this method is working. Next, wait 30 to 45 seconds, and if you hear a splash in the water, tap R repeatedly to pull in the fish. Do this over and over until your inventory is full or you get bored. Once you finish, go to the general store and sell the fish raw. With this method you can get lots of money in a relatively safe way, but the downside is that it takes a lot of time. Another method of gaining money is hunting, by far one of my favorite methods. Inside the general store, on the table besides the bow and arrows, there lies a hunting knife costing 25 pounds. Make sure to buy this knife as it is very cheap and useful. You can alternatively buy the simple iron knife from the shop. Afterwards buy some hunting bow and some arrows or a gun and flintlock balls. With your newfound weapons, search around the frontier for different animals such as rabbits, beavers and deer. Inside the James Bay safe zone is the safest place to hunt in the beginning. The best animal to hunt is the beaver, as its fur and meat cost a lot of money. Deer come in second place and rabbits in last. Before selling an animal's pelt and meat, make sure to cook the meat at a fire so you can increase its value as shown. To be able to cook meat, the player must be in the warming up animation, so refresh your crafting menu by opening it twice. If you enjoy hunting, There are many more animals outside the safe zone in the frontier. Next to native camp and mercenary fort there are a lot of deer and the river has a good beaver population, but be aware of other players as you may enter combat and lose your gear. The last method I will show you today is the most dangerous but in my opinion the most profitable. Simply head to northern camp by way of Sylvester's fast travel and head towards the big mountain. Next to it, there are plenty of gold nodes, mine them quickly and reset or walk back to James Bay safe zone. After that smelt the gold ores into gold ingots and sell them at the general store for £250 each. There are many other methods of making money in the northern frontier. Don't be afraid to explore your options and find out what works best for you and your situation. You have to make sure you have at least 2.5k pounds to buy the basic gear that will keep you warm and provide you with a good amount of carrying capacity for your future in the northern frontier. With the money you have made, head to the tailor store next to Sylvester's carriage and buy yourself a deluxe bandana, any color scarf and a warm hat of your choosing. I usually prefer black fur hat or prepared survivor. If you have money to spare, this is also the place you can change your normal outfit to another one. Once you are done, head to the general store and buy a large knapsack from the storage tab. This will give you 130 space inside your inventory, crucial for carrying extra items. Make sure to also buy a lantern. This item will help you stay warm when treading through snow. Congratulations, you are now equipped and ready to face the frontier. For this next part, you will need Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, check out the description. It's a communication app necessary for coordinating in teams and it's perfect for this game. If you don't want to download the app, you can also use it in the website version. The official Discord group for TNF harbors its community and it's the main place where you can find out what updates and events there are planned for the future. This is also the place where you can join your first faction. Now your long-term goals in the context of gear are the engineer knapsack, satchel, snowshoes and optionally the robust axe if you're playing as native. The satchel you can craft as a native, but the other items will be harder to obtain. You can keep farming pounds in the ways shown or in any other ways, but I recommend joining a faction. Within a faction, you will have the chance of joining in island events, and if you're lucky your faction wins you have a chance at getting event hats, which can be traded to other players for other items and useful Robux items such as the engineer knapsack and the snowshoes. In my experience trading it takes a lot of grit and willpower to reach your goals, but you should strive to never give up and eventually you will succeed. For this chapter of our guide, it is recommended that you configure your Roblox settings in such a way that you have the best performance. Having high FPS is key in combat in this game, but don't worry. Even with lower FPS you can still fight and succeed, but it will be way harder. I have placed the links of a guide on how to make Roblox run faster in the description, make sure to check it out. Fast bandaging is the most important part of combat in TNF. This technique is performed by equipping your bandage in hand and when taking damage and quickly using it, then opening up inventory by pressing G and very quickly dragging a new bandage from the backpack to the equipment bar, then closing the inventory by pressing G again and repeating the process. The best technique I have found so far is to use the left-hand thumb in order to press the G key so the inventory can be opened, and when the bandage has been dragged the thumb closes the inventory by pressing G again and the pointer finger presses 4 key to equip the bandage after a very short delay, and then right hand clicks the mouse and the process starts over until either death or health has been replenished. Another technique is to not use your thumb and make the action with your pointer finger, using it to press both G 2 times while also dragging and then press 4 to equip the bandage and heal. When dragging the bandage to the equipment bar make sure you drag the mouse a small amount before selecting the bandage, as sometimes the bandage will not get dragged even tough you clicked and it can mess up your timing. This worsens the lower FPS you have. Be aware of the slight delay you have upon replenishing your bandage and trying to hold it in your hand again. If you try to fast bandage too quickly you will not equip the bandage in your hand and mess up your timing. Never only focus on fast bandaging when fighting someone. as staying still for too long or moving slowly can make you an easy target for more shots coming your way. Make sure to fast bandage 2 to 3 bandages and then reply with your own musket fire. If you want to practice fast bandaging but you are not in combat, you can practice the motion your fingers would be making by just doing it even though you are not taking damage. You know it's a successful bandage when you see your character's right hand reach down and grab the bandage from the belt. Alternatively, you can wait until you starve so you can start taking damage and fast bandage that way. Before getting on how to quick switch, I will go quickly over the guns. Here is a list on the guns of TNF and how much damage they do, not including the Ferguson, which is exclusive to the shops of HBC and NWC official factions. Francois the illegal dealer sells the double-barrel musket, long pistol and Denix pistol along with the war axe. These are the best weapons in the game and they are highly sought after. Francois can be found at any of the locations colored brown. The technique of quick switching is very simple but very effective. Make sure you have a primary gun and a secondary gun equipped. For example, we will be using the Model 1777 and the long pistol. To quick switch, simply equip your primary and while keeping your screen still and not rotating your camera, aim at a point on the screen with your mouse. Then when you are ready to fire, press Q and then quickly click. Then press 2 to equip your pistol and press Q again and then quickly click again. If you have upgraded your carrying capacity by getting a better knapsack like the Enormous or the Engineer, you can carry multiple sets of guns, and after you quick switch one set, open your inventory and drag another set of weapons to your toolbar. My tip for quick switching is to not try to do it too quickly, because if you try to do so, you might mess up and not even fire your guns at all. It has happened to me. If you want to switch sets after quick switching, make sure you practice your inventory management before going into a fight, as this will help you greatly with quickly switching sets. Your goal with switching sets should be half a second in between quick switches. If you can manage both accuracy and speed, you will be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. Melee combat is straightforward. You click every time you want to hit, and you can block by right-clicking. Every time you attack or block with a melee, you will drain some stamina. Keep in mind that the glitches I show you could be subject to change in the future as they may be patched, but as of realizing this guide, that isn't the case yet. A glitch useful to combat is the spin glitch. This can be performed by pressing P twice, then clicking on the store and then pressing N to open the title menu. After you are done, you can close the menus. To ensure it will work well, press escape and change your FPS to the highest possible. Another simpler way to perform this glitch but more unreliable is to click on the faction tab 2 times and then quickly press N, and it should send your character into the spin glitch. The character normally follows the player mouse with some delay, but with the spin glitch activated this is no longer the case. The character following the mouse as fast as possible, with no delay. Using this glitch with high FPS will allow you to make your character spin really fast, and it can be used in combat when trying to dodge shots. Combining the spin glitch with water travel makes another glitch called speed boating. Using this glitch, the user's character is able to traverse water very fast and gives a significant edge over combat, as you are also able to reload while doing this glitch. To perform it, simply enter the spin glitch state and go in the water. This glitch working is highly dependent on the FPS of the player. Someone with higher FPS will be able to speedboat very fast, while another player with low FPS might not be able to speedboat at all. If you ran out of bank space, or you are carrying way too much equipment and want to sell some, consider crafting a trading post, or buying one from the general store. The trading post allows players to sell items for any price. This makes trading Robux items for pounds possible, but it also basically allows the player to make a separate bank with infinite storage space. Be warned, do not try to combat log while you place the trading post down. If you do, the trading post will disappear and the items that are inside it will go back to your inventory, and if you combat log and come back, you will be dead with a lot of loot in your inventory. I also recommend you not to place too many items inside the trading post, as this can impede your ability to salvage the trading post once you want to leave the game. but do not want to lose the trading post. Conclusions: TNF is a great game with tons of possibilities, and there are a lot of ways to have fun, like starting a faction, participating in great battles, building stuff, helping other people out, learning to master combat, etc. Find whatever you most want to do in this game and do it. This game is still very difficult and very frustrating sometimes, but remember not to take this too seriously. At the end of the day, it's just a Roblox game, and the Lego loot will respawn. Please do remember that this guide will one day become outdated, as TNF is currently still receiving updates and balance patches. Information like official factions, glitches, techniques and weapon damage will probably be revamped. I will do my best to keep anything updated in the description or in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this guide helpful.